You, the skeptic, talking to you. I was a skeptic. I believed everything I was taught about science and secular education. And you're the guy that I'm talking to who thinks that the Bible is a bunch of fairy tales. Well, let me explain something to you. What you're learning in schools, or what is being taught there in schools, are fairy tales. Let me set an example for you. I'm going to paint a word picture. Pretend you got an artist and he makes a masterpiece. Does he not sign it at the bottom with his own signature? Well, the answer is an obvious yes. He's not going to just put it out there and, have someone else get the credit for it. And another thing, I'm painting another word picture. You're playing charades. You're trying to get the person to say the word that with just hand gestures and just motions. Sounds like blah, 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 and then you go through all these gyrations and you get the person to understand that, to get them to say the word, okay? All right, let me tell you something. There is a God, and whether you believe in him or not, it really doesn't matter because he exists. And you're in for a rude awakening if you don't believe that. So that's why I'm trying to get you over to this side to start considering some other facts. First of all, God says in his word, and you don't have to believe his word, but I'm just telling you what he says. And here's what he says. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. That's how the artist signs his masterpiece. When we look out into the night sky, and of course science does talk about facts, but doesn't science only explore what it is that's already there? The creation. And as we learn more and more, we're finding out that the universe is expanding, and it's so huge, it's like impossible for our finite minds to wrap our heads around it. But that's God's masterpiece you're looking at. And his signature is that it's infinite, because he's an infinite being. He's trying to get your attention. Let me tell you something. He's really trying to get your attention. He also says in his word, by the way, that last scripture was Psalms 19, verse 1. I'm going to read one from Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11. He has also set eternity in the hearts of men, yet they cannot fathom what God has done from the beginning to end. Right there's another little signature of God that you think about the dumb animals in the field. They don't know that tomorrow they're going to be led to the slaughter. We unfortunately know that there will come a day when we have to face eternity, and this is what this book is all about, by the way. Let me read one last thing, now that I've got your attention, and now I want to wake you up, and this is going to be it. Since the creation of the world, God's invisible qualities, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly seen. Clearly seen. I mean, you look out there, I'm telling you, you're seeing it. You're seeing the reality of an infinite, of the infinite. Now, having been clearly seen, being understood from what has been made, so men are without excuse. Look, he set a bunch of physical laws into motion. You're not going to defy gravity by jumping out a window and pretending you're Superman or Spider-Man or any other superhero you want to put a name on. You're going to fall to the ground because his laws are firm. Science confirms many, many, many laws of physics. But God is a righteous God, and he has moral laws as well. If you look around you and you take an honest look, even though you have this sympathy from inside saying, oh, I feel so sorry for this community that is suffered and gone through all this bias and discrimination and whatnot. Well, let me tell you something. There are moral laws in place, and if you break them, you're sure as going out a window and trying to oppose gravity, it'll lead to death if you don't obey his moral laws as well. That's it. That's all I'm going to give you for now. There'll be more. Thanks for tuning in.